Dak, just talk about your emotions in the moments after hearing the news and just exactly what Marshawn meant to you.
Yeah, initially hearing the news, stunned. I mean, it was early morning. Saw the message. Didn't really want to believe it. Didn't believe it. Stunned, almost a shocked, numbness. Big portion of that being numb. And Marshawn, just a great dude. Just spirit was always high. Anytime you crossed him, very contagious attitude. We spent, I would say, a lot of time throughout the training room, passing each other, having small conversations here and there, and very loving, contagious guy. I mean, I know that, right? It's been noted, right? His saying was "one love," and I think you just felt that. You felt that aura, you felt that demeanor, you felt him carry that, and that's everything that he did. The way he played this game, the way he took care of his body, he did that like a veteran. He was a professional. He was much more of a professional than a lot of young guys that I've seen throughout the league, and doing everything that you need to do the right way to make sure you're available. And Marshawn did that, and very loved. He'll be missed. Definitely not forgotten, and we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward to carry on his legacy, and just everything that we can do, just trying to do it to the best we can.
As the leader of this team, what's your message to your teammates in terms of how you go about moving forward?
Yeah, for one, I mean, it's just been being present. I can honestly say there hadn't been a moment I've stepped up and addressed the team, and I think the important reason for me why is I know in my experiences of dealing with loss and pass, like, you should grieve your own way. And I don't for one second want to tell somebody how they should grieve and how they should get over, not get over or work through something. I just know the best thing that's helped me out is just when people were just there for me. And when they're there for me in silence, just feeling their presence, feeling their love, and showing me what it looks like to how to move from one day to the next, doing better, and trying to carry on a legacy. And so for me, that's a lot of these guys. I mean, I hope everybody in this organization understands or knows my losses. And so I just hopefully somebody can look at me and understand and see what I've been through, and that there is brighter days, better days, and you can get through this, and you'll get through it and be stronger because of it. And I just want to be an example of that to my teammates.
Shotty had talked about you guys playing, honoring him by the way you play the rest of the season. What does that look like to you?
Nobody chased the ball like Marshawn. And you turn on practice film, game film, whatever it may be. I know going back to the spring, Shotty would show clips of guys running at the ball in OTAs, and Marshawn always made that list. And I think it's just evident right there. And I think that showed his love for the game, showed his love for his teammates and what this meant. And so at any position, I think that's an easy way to do it right there. It's just your effort and chasing the ball down just as Marshawn would.
A lot of players look to you and Solly as the leaders of this team to help. Who do you guys look to help you get through this?
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys did a great job of bringing in professionals, people who are who get paid to deal with these moments. And as you just noted, right, obviously me and Solly have been through this, but I'll be the first to say that I may be the champion of speaking up, but I'm not necessarily the champion of dealing with grief, I guess you can say, right? And I'll say I'm a champion of moving forward and past it and using it as your strength your source of strength. But the team did an amazing job of bringing in professionals, whether it been doctors, whether it was Dr. T, or whether it been O2X, of not only just words, but giving people, obviously having the resources for them to be able to talk to, and those medical and those counselors, and giving people those avenues, but just as well as different ways to deal with grief. And, you know, when certain emotions and certain feelings come about, maybe to counteract them. And I know one for me is I get angry a lot. And the best way is when I get angry or when I get sad in those moments, I just think about how can I counteract that. And usually it's how can I make somebody smile, or how can I do something better. And so just little things like that have been helpful. I know have been helpful to me. And so, as I said, I haven't necessarily spoken, had a team addressed, I guess you can say, but I've taken a lot of those conversations from the O2X, from Dr. T, from the professionals, and have brought them into smaller conversations as we've had breakouts or just hot tub talk or conversations at lunch. And just the more we can talk, the more we can connect. That's the only good in this, honestly, at this moment, is remind us how important it is to connect, and how important it is to not just know these jersey numbers, but to know the family and to know things beyond this building.
Speaking on that, I know you guys had a Zoom meeting last Thursday, but to be able to come back together Monday, how did you see the impact that made, and what does it mean to have a team to be able to cope a loss like this?
It's huge. Don't know what I'd do. I don't know what these guys would do without having a team like this. I can tell you my hardest days were those few days before we got to come in and be together. As I was just saying, the ways that I've deal with grief is just being in the presence of others who understand what that grief feels like. And in this case, it was just your teammates. It was only your teammates you could really just be around that have that feeling, that can understand, and that you can have conversations about Marshawn. You can carry on that light, and you can smile in the sense of being hurt. And those days were tough, but I think the moment that we got in together, I know that team meeting was healing to me. I know it was to a lot of guys, and just every conversation has been. And to have a team, to have teammates and brothers that you can love and you go through things with, that's been my message to these guys, is we don't get this forever. And when this is gone, if we don't make these connects the right way, we're going to lose it. And so just invest in it even more.
Solomon said, he was asked about seeing if there were any signs, that Marshawn was struggling. He said he didn't really see any. And, with that, there could be guilt. What have you learned from some of your losses about dealing with that? And is there something you could share on that to your teammates?
Yeah, guilt's tricky. Guilt's one of those things that when those thoughts come in, that's where you first have to counteract and counter thoughts. To go off of what Solomon said, yeah, there was no signs. And I know, respect to the family, right? They don't want to go down and tag this as mental health. And with that being said, yeah, there was no signs. I said I crossed him a lot, passed him a lot through the hot tub, through cold tub, through the training room, and far opposite of any signs. I mean, there was never really isolation. There wasn't a time that Marshawn wasn't talking or wasn't open or putting smiles on people's faces. So it's tough to even talk to these two things hand in hand. And for me, it's a moment of a cup ran over, and that's why it's important for us to connect, just communicate, talk, vent, and just try to get things off our plates as much as we can, and just be there even when you feel like you're not. Your present matters.
What was today like to be back out on the field?
It was great, and Shadi alluded to that, and he said it earlier in the week. Some guys are going to get out the field and it's going to hurt, and some guys are going to get out there and it's going to be the best medicine for them. Having dealt with the loss, and that is the best medicine for me. So getting back out there, handing the ball off and sprinting an extra 10 yards and making sure I'm doing it hard. Marshawn went through my mind a few times at practice today, and I just countered that with running harder after a play or trying to do something to better this team and to show that. But it felt good, and I know it was a great practice. A lot of guys were out there, good energy, beautiful weather. And as I said, we're not forgetting, but we're moving forward, carrying on the light.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.